Well, welcome, my friends. I'm here in absolutely gorgeous Ojai. We're having a delicious spring, and I was celebrating that we've been here almost 25 years, and I've had the opportunity to be envisioning and generating what kind of a beauty I want to have around me and supporting the planet. And what I was reflecting on, I mean, it looks absolutely gorgeous here in a place that used to be concrete and grass. And what it was reminding me of is that the attention that we're putting into this very simple practice of loop of awareness, I think has that kind of generative quality that as you're looping, you're actually connecting both inside you but also outside you, and you're weaving consciousness through your environment, and that consciousness then begins to really amplify and generate more connection. And it's to be able to be creating that, but then also to be able to experience the beauty of, like the people across the street, their poppies are now showing up in our yard. And so we're, having all of this cross pollination, and we can see it. But with loop of awareness, you may think, well, it's, what am I actually doing? And is it doing any good? Is it making any difference? And it's been my experience, especially recently, that I'm thinking of people and they contact me. And I know that our consciousness travels, over time and over space. And so I wanted to just support us all in the ongoing practice of loop of awareness, because it's not only in the moment, but my sense is that it genuinely fills the reservoir, and it also ripples out. It ripples out and radiates, so that people in your life that you think of, like you're thinking of during our practices of loop of awareness, I know that they receive it. They're receiving your attention and they're receiving your love. And so this is a time of, it's like the building, the big old grody casino in Las Vegas. They've imploded it, but it hasn't come all the way down yet, and it's causing there's a lot of debris, and things are, so that it's already happened. But we're still dealing with but what I'm turning my attention to is all of the new shoots that are arising, all of the new connections that are arising, and the sense of uprising energy that we can share. So as in the loop of awareness that I don't know if we have any new people on today, please wave so that we can welcome you formally. But just the basic review, the simplest form of the loop of awareness that I'm going to be sharing this weekend in the talk is to loop and land and breathe. So I'd love to have you like loop inward, land somewhere in your body that's going, oh, please give me some attention. So loop and land, and notice how you do land. So do you land with like precision, or do you land with kind of like a thump, or do you land like a kid who's playing in the puddles, or do you land with trying to fix and letting yourself then breathe? So loop and land and breathe. So I'm landing in my shoulder, which decided to go through some major rebirth experience, I think, and it's been complaining to me. So it's really allowed me to give this kind of curious attention and just being with, and what is it that you're needing right now. And breathing, and then as I breathe into, I can feel a little bit of movement that wants to happen in my shoulders, so I'm letting that happen. So when you loop and land inside and you breathe, your body is going to want to respond. So we almost always have it stop it or calm down or fix it. So when you're letting your attention land inside you and you breathe and then let your body respond, because so much of what's been going on over many, many years is like, stop it, don't move. And we're really losing our movement. As humans are, it's basically a use it or lose it universe. And a lot of people are losing their movement. So, and also letting your body respond, because we have this whole sit still and learn. And humans don't do that. We have to move to learn. So letting just that spontaneous movement is the best thing for your brain. Also, spontaneous movement is the most rewiring thing that you can do for your brain. So now as you let your attention turn outward, so since I'm out in my studio, I have this wonderful array of things that I can tune into, and with springtime and blooms, and particularly we have an amaryllis that a friend of mine gave me several years ago, a beautiful white and scarlet amaryllis. And then this year there are about 14 of them in this one pot. And I didn't realize that amaryllis propagated themselves. And so I have this gorgeous, like, oh my goodness, look what happened from it's a great example of giving attention through loop of awareness and then things radiating and amplifying. So as you're turning your attention out, turn towards something that you experience as spacious or beautiful, and let your attention travel, land. So loop, land, and breathe, and then let your body respond. And then bringing that back this way. So, we do a slowed down practice, but my experience now is that loop has turned into a circle, it's turned into a sphere. I can include a whole lot in my looping. And that gives me even more to fill my own reservoir and more to radiate out. But it all starts with this practice of looping and landing and breathing, and then letting your body respond. And so coming back to you, seeing where your attention wants to land. So my attention wanted to land in my toes this time. So I'm looping and landing in my toes and breathing, and I'm breathing toward my toes. And then noticing that my toes are going, oh, thank you. And I get a little wiggle going through my toes, which then I can feel rippling through my body. So that practice, I want to invite you, whenever you're in a sort of in-between space, or you're thinking about something, you're in a project and you don't quite know what the next step is, I've found that looping is just the most effective, fun, and friendly way to get the flow going again, the flow of my creativity, the flow of connection. So now I want you, when you loop out, I'd like you to loop towards somebody in your life that you just sense could use your attention and love. And letting yourself think of them, letting yourself maybe even just imagine them with you, and turning your attention toward them, and then letting yourself breathe and letting your body move, knowing that that ripple is going to reach them. And then it also comes back to you. And so we're not draining. So my experience with loop of awareness is that it's never draining, it's always adding to. So when I'm looping, it's adding to the love that's available, it's adding to the attention that's available. And so that whole simple practice, when you add in, and the other thing that you might add in, especially if you're feeling critical or judgy, is to add in a because the will move you into your wonder brain. And to acknowledge, the grumpiness or the criticalness or the oh my godness, and then so you can let the flow of your attention move through even the criticalness or the judginess that comes up. And so I'd like to now show the card. I've been looking for cards that maybe I hadn't used with you in a long time. And so this one I went, oh gosh, oh, this is a good one. So letting your attention move out and into the collage, which has some, different kinds of shapes and things than we might have seen in other cards. And then looping and landing, and then breathing and letting your body respond, and then bringing your attention back to you, and wherever the card you're receiving that in your body, let your attention go to that. Like my attention on this round really wants to go to my heart, and I'm actually going to even do some love scoops into my heart. And then I'm noticing, when I'm turning my attention back, I'm noticing the hands reaching toward each other. So there's just all kinds of interesting shapes, and I'm imagining that the little porcupine there is having feelings. That's so one of my. So I'd love you to loop while I read you first the sentences and then the question. I change agreements that are not working by noticing the jangle, communicating and listening to feelings involved, and making a new clear agreement. Oh, so I change agreements that are not working by first noticing the jangle. So first, you're going to notice it. If you're giving attention, you'll notice the jangle in your body. Then communicating and listening to the feelings involved, and then making a new clear agreement. So agreements are so important in our lives, especially right now when there's so much chaos. We can create clarity through our agreements. So the question is, how can I consciously change agreements that are not working? How can I consciously change agreements that are not working? There's a whole bunch of stuff in this that we can attend to. I want to keep the picture up for just a moment while I share some of those. So one is first recognizing that an agreement is not working. So a lot of us who have a hero orientation, we sort of just push through, or it's okay, or I can handle it, or I know they didn't really mean it, or, so we don't really say, hey, look, this is not working. So that, the courage to say, to open up to, wait a minute, there's a jangle. And to share that, because I think often we just assume that if I bring it up, it's not going to work, or I'm going to get in trouble, or people aren't going to like me, or we turn in our wanting to be liked. We make that more important than actually having agreements that work. And the second thing that occurs to me is that we jump over. Often people jump over that it's not working, and that, oh, okay, well, let's just meet next time, or I didn't really have anything important, so it's okay. So we jump over our feelings about what happened. It's usually you feel scared, angry, or sad, or all three. And the other person has feelings also. And if we make an agreement over the top of unexpressed feelings, that agreement is doomed. It's gonna mess up in some way. And since agreements are one of the basic ways that we can co-create with others in a conscious way, agreements are something that I give attention to really every day. Like, have I done what I said I was going to do, and have I not done what I said I was not going to do? But, what are my agreements with different people, and keeping track of those? And if an agreement isn't working, it could be simple, like that, something has come up, and I want to change the agreement because I don't want to meet with you at 9 o'clock. I have, an emergency's come up or whatever. So, changing agreements, I have found when I change them consciously with people, it strengthens our connection, and it makes it safe for others to say, "Oh, this is really not working. I thought it was, but now I really want to." Like, I changed agreements with folks that I was doing a concert with, because I just said, this is. I can see this is not going to work. And people had feelings, and then we realized, yeah, this isn't going to work. And so we changed the agreement, and I felt sad about it. But then my energy was freed up to be able to create something new, rather than be, I was just thinking about when something, something has been in the sun too long and it gets sticky. Like the dashboard of a car, it's been in the sun too long, it gets sticky. When agreements have not been cleaned up, they actually, I think, literally get sticky. I feel a kind of stickiness inside rather than flow. And so I think it's also a great idea to open up to, we can come back to the big group now. I think it's also a really great idea to kind of document for you, what are the body signals of a jangle in agreement. So how would I know that there's a jangle? And I realize as I'm talking about that I often will get that sort of around my eyes and around my forehead. And I when I'm feeling into that, it's like I'm trying to get more clarity, and my eyes are getting more focused. I'm trying to get clarity. So that's one of the signals for me. You might also notice signals in your throat, because you often have something then to communicate about it. If an agreement isn't working, you're going to want to communicate about it, and your throat's going to let you know that. And all of your feeling areas might light up. But I just know if you would be willing to take on, this agreement isn't working, and I'd like to change it. And even maybe practice that with a friend, someone that likes you or loves you, so that you can go through where you get tripped up when you're trying to change an agreement. One of the ways that I would get tripped up was people getting mad at me, or snarky, not openly mad, but just kind of, well, there you go again. Yeah, that kind of, and those are often, when I've had that happen a number of times, I go, I just wonder about this friendship in general. Are we, is that an agreement that I'm going to want to switch? So this one I feel is a big one that you may want to take. You might want to keep this card, which is from Impeccable Agreements. You might want to keep this card out to play with during the week, and just to write like, oh, okay. Because then for me, when agreements are working, and I'm co-creating with someone, there's an experience of flow and ease and creativity and generativity. Even if we're working to solve a problem, I get that the flow of generativity between us. And so also then the signals that let you know that you're grooving with your agreements, because those are really the structure on which you can build your integrity. Agreements are really to me, they're the scaffolding of the building. And if those are not working, then everything else that you make is really, like building your house on sand. So I was happy to find that one. So here, let me just find now my Presence Connect play and see what we've got today. let me just say, oh, great. So presence is a lovely way to shift and is also useful for when you're needing or wanting to shift in agreement, which is take 3 breaths and change your body posture. So this one's very reliable based on research of how easily you can shift from being scared or flummoxed into presence. So taking your 3 relaxed, connected breaths. So that one, I can take my 3 connected breaths. It'll take about a minute. So because I've been practicing this for a long time. So your 3 connected breaths, and then change your physical position, because whenever you're stuck in your body, and you may not even realize how you're stucking yourself through your posture. So if you take your breaths first, you're creating space, and then you change your physical posture. Just notice the sense of presence that you generate by doing that. And it's something that you can do in the middle of a meeting. You can do when you're talking to friends, when you're in the middle of a conversation, where you're feeling that jangle. 3 relaxed breaths. What I like to make sure that I do is connect my in-breath to my out-breath, because that's often where people freeze themselves in fear. They freeze on the in-breath. So if I like to think of it as a little baby roller coaster, then I kind of roll over my in-breath into my out-breath, and let it be nice and friendly and easy, and then change my physical posture in some way that feels pleasurable, rather than, put your shoulders back or stand up straight or stop slouching, which is how we usually attend to our posture. So if you're friendly with that, I think that it will give you a sense of co-creating flow, because that's one of the big benefits of presence. And then connect is the one that I think is most challenging in the world right now, is choose to see others as allies on your team. So how I'm playing with that now, with all of the people that I wish were as enlightened as I am, is to see them as on the human team. So the team human. So I'm willing to see others as on team human and to recognize them as fellow humans. And when I have judgments come up, I let myself recognize that and return to being willing to see others as on team human. And then play is, this one, let your attention fan out and then focus like a laser. So fanning and focusing is one of the most valuable ways you can play with your loop of awareness. So fanning out and then focusing, one of the ways that I use that is when I'm driving. And because I do that, I've avoided at least 5 accidents because of that practice of fanning and focusing. So that's one of the places that I really invite you to play with that. Also, when you're in a meeting where there's something important that's being discussed, when you're fanning and focusing, it allows you to catch things that are on the periphery. And it also allows you to turn your attention toward somebody who really wants or needs that. And your body's giving you that message. And then when you focus, you go, and then you get that connection with the person that then allows the attention to and the creativity to keep flowing. So you may wonder why that one is in play. The fanning and focusing is because it allows you to toss your attention rather than having your attention be in a pattern. And whenever we can shift out of a pattern, that allows us to open up more to play. The play of the universe, the play of attention coming through us, the play of co-creativity. So that's, I'm happy that those came up for us today. So one of the other things I wanted to share with you is that I'm going to start or continue. I've started sharing my poetry on Instagram. And so I just wanted to let you know that on Mondays you can start looking for this. I'm going to record one of my poems as soon as we finish here. So, and I'm going to share it on Instagram, but then I'll probably share it on Facebook also. So for those of you who want to have the experience, I want to also have us share beauty with each other. And share what we are all generating, and I appreciate you all doing that as well in your lives, so that that we're sharing with people all of the different ways that we can co-create with each other. So the poem I'm going to share today is really about dying, and how that also can be a place where we can share beauty with each other. So thank you for sharing your beauty with me today and with each other, and love being with you on Mondays. And so please stay and share as long as you like, and I'll look forward to being with you again next time. Take good care.